After the fall of France, Germany moved to complete her fortress Europe for the coming war with Russia. Breaking the fortress walls were the Balkans, open to British invasion, a threat to the German flank. Romania was joined to the Axis, then Hungary, Bulgaria. Italians struck at Greece and were thrown back. Britain sent forces to bolster the Greeks, hoping to carry the war from Africa to Europe. In April of '41, Germans invaded Yugoslavia, smashing an obsolete army in 11 days and entering Greece. Through terrain considered impossible, the Germans split the Greek army and the British forces, pushing the British back to Piraeus and Corinth, and evacuation. Exhausted British troops, disorganized, partly disarmed, were moved to Egypt, and because of naval shortage, to the island of Crete. In a 3-week blitz, Germany had closed the Balkan door, except for Crete. From this island, the Luftwaffe could strike to the south, at the British sea routes, Egypt and Cyprus. With Rommel nearing Egypt, the Balkans conquered, a 5th column waiting in Syria, a drive for Suez was ready, except for Crete. Early in the Greek campaign, German plans for Crete went forward. In greatest secrecy, special air equipment, special air invasion troops were rushed from Germany. Attack was coming. Crete prepared a defense. In 5 months preceding, under 5 different commanders, preparations had been spotty because of indefinite plans for Crete. In April, command came to General Weston of the Marines, who planned a hurried defense. In the garrison were 3,500 men from the 14th Infantry Brigade, with attached artillery, other units. Evacuation brought 14,000 British, New Zealand, Australian troops, and 10,000 irregular British Empire troops, Palestinians, Cypriots, various others, mostly unarmed, untrained, and a disciplined small force of Greeks. A total of 27,500 defenders. Left behind in Greece was nearly all the heavy equipment. Most troops had rifles, other small arms, some Bren guns, AT rifles, machine guns. There were in all 49 Italian field pieces with little ammunition, some without sights. 10 guns, 3.7 inches, 14 3-inch AA guns, 34 Bofors, a few AA machine guns and pom-poms, 24 3-foot searchlights. The only armor, 8 infantry I-tanks, 16 light tanks, a few troop carriers. For the air defense, only 15 planes against expected air invasion. Wavell sent the order. Crete is to be held. 1st of May, General Freyberg of New Zealand took command in Crete. He was warned of expected attack, to begin with 3,000 paratroops, and warned to look for no RAF increases. Freyberg protested lack of air support, suggested withdrawal, but Wavell reassured him. With hardly any tools or transport, Freyberg prepared. Units were organized, stragglers assembled, troops disposed to sectors. Crete is 160 miles long, 7 to 30 miles wide, and very mountainous, up to 8,000 feet. The southern coast has barrier cliffs, few landing points. The northern side is low, with many miles of beaches open to rolling inland plains. On the long north coastline, Freiburg ordered 4 defensive sectors: Malmö Airport, Cania, the capital, city of 30,000, and Suda Bay, the one good port. Retimo, town of 9,000, with its airport. Heraklion, city of 35,000, and the airport. All 3 airports were new, built for the RAF. Landings were also possible on beaches, near the roads, and on the plains. Linking the principal defenses ran the island's one good road. 3 others, not so good, ran south. All other roads were donkey trails, too poor for motor transport. Lack of transport hindered movement, holding troops to original dispositions. Freiburg had less than 200 trucks. 40 were needed for Suda alone. For wire communications, a primitive telephone system, easily vulnerable. Submarine cables, Cania to Retimo, to Heraklion, to Sitya. Suda and Heraklion to Alexandria, Middle East headquarters. All commands on Crete had wireless. Food was a serious problem for everybody on the island. Crete has 440,000 people, and now it had the British, Greek soldiers, and Italian prisoners. Food was low. Harvests were not in. Olives, oranges, lemons, grapes, the principal crops, would not help the situation. Water, always scarce, taken from wells, was at unusual drought. Sanitation, medical aids were backward. The inhabitants, mainly peasants, were friendly allies. King George himself was on the island. Freiburg wired to Wavell. Roads poor. Transportation inadequate. Civilian food supply is low. Present garrisons include 3 regular British battalions, 6 New Zealand battalions, 1 weak Australian battalion, 2 composite battalions. Greek forces are small and poorly armed. There is no artillery. Anti-aircraft defense is inadequate. There is no modern fighter aircraft. At Malmö Airport, Freiburg placed 3 New Zealand brigades, 5th, 10th, and 4th, 2 companies of engineers, a small cavalry force, with 2 I-tanks, 10 light tanks, 10 Italian 75s, 6 howitzers, AA and CD guns. The mission here: to defend the airdrome, protect the beach, hold an east-west line, and be ready to counterattack, guarding the heights to the south and Cania from the west. Cania was force headquarters, main base area. In this area, Freiburg disposed 9 units, mainly improvised rifle battalions, 5 British, 2 Australian, 2 Greek, defending against attack from the west, out of the olive groves, from the Rocky Peninsula, or from the east. Suda Bay was vital. Its loss would cut the supply line. Here were the only important docks. Around this vital bay were placed 4 6-inch guns, 10 4-inch guns, and 30 other guns, AAs, 3-inch, and Bofors. Down the coast, in Retimo sector, Freiburg located 6 battalions, 2 Australian battalions at Georgiopolis, with 3 coast guns to protect the beach. In Retimo, to hold the harbor and the town, 1 Australian machine gun company and a small Greek force. At Retimo Airport, east of the town, 2 Australian battalions, 2 Greek battalions, and 2 I-tanks to hold the airport, guard the beaches, and the approaches to the town. 1 other battalion was at Stylos. 4th of Freiburg's sectors centered on Heraklion, called Candia, largest city of the island, 35,000. Defending were 4 Greek battalions around the city itself, and 5 British battalions between the city and the airport. 2 I-tanks were posted at the field, 6 light tanks in reserve, with 17 field pieces, 2 4-inch coast guns, 4 3-inch AA, 10 Bofors, 2 pom-poms. to protect the field and harbor. Second port to Suda, Freiburg's second supply line. Even before the fall of Greece, the Germans were building airfields, rushing supplies for the Battle of Crete. Flying Corps 11 and 8, secretly assembled in Bulgaria, Romania, moved down to the forward bases in the last days before invasion. At Tanagra, gliders and towplanes. At Moloi, Melos, Scarpanto, within 100 miles, dive bombers and fighters. Twin-engine fighters within 200 miles. Bombers, transports, reconnaissance, all within 250 miles of Crete. Flying Corps 11 had 3 components. Glider troops, 750. Parachutists, 10,000. Air landing troops, 5,000. Adding the troops to come by sea, 7,000, made just under 23,000, which with later additions almost equaled the defenders. German aircraft, 280 bombers, 150 dive bombers, 90 twin-engine fighters, 90 single-engine fighters, 40 reconnaissance planes, and 650 transport craft. German aircraft, 1,300. By the German Mercury plan, 3 groups were set up. A Western group, Storm Regiment of gliders, aimed at Malami. Central group, Flying Division of parachutists. A first wave at Cania, second wave later at Retimo. And the Eastern group, Parachute Regiment, pointed for Heraklion. These forces were to join their lines, protect more landing by sea and air, and reinforced, subdue the defense. The 5th Mountain Division would garrison, while air troops left for Russia. In Middle East, the RAF was feeble. The Battle of Britain had barely ended. Wavell had only 43 fighters and 90 bombers, and Rommel was nearing Egypt. The German Air Force met the RAF a squadron to a plane, shot them out of the sky, or followed them back to Egypt and smashed them on the ground. May 1st to 10th, the Luftwaffe carefully photographed all Crete, spotting every new position. Troop strafing began, dive bombing on Suda docks, then day bombing, probe defenses. May 13th, Crete's airdromes were heavily bombed, with crucial results. Only 7 British planes remained. All this time, shipping suffered air attack from Greece. Of 27,000 tons of supplies shipped out, only 2,700 tons arrived. May 16th, Suda Bay was blasted 7 hours. May 17th, Suda was hit by 27 Stukas. Ships were unloaded while they burned. The bay filled up with wrecks. On one of the ships arrived a military band.